Armand with the death masks.
Yeah. You know, as I'm holding these with the baby that's here, and also seeing the mother, I'll just point it so you can, look at that, and then we'll do the mother. I don't want her to fall out there.
Yeah, she's better than him.
Yeah. One of the first things that I feel from it, and it was even while you were around the corner and didn't even show them to me as of yet, was the casting of these. The purpose of these was it's something in an artistic. It was to preserve the very likeness, the artisticness, and for later drawings or different things that they would do with it, and to always have that. So this way they always had the likeness there, because over time likeness can begin to fade in drawings, and it's an interpretation where this was pretty spot on. It does feel like there was somebody that took these for quite a long time. Obviously very cherished, very preserved, and watched over, kept in a cool, dark place, so that this way they would always be preserved under lock and key, I might add. But it's for the purpose of artistry. It feels like there is a caregiver for the house that watches over these, somebody that is in charge of that, like that's their duty. It does feel like there are some works, and I'll lift up the other one just to look at this one a little bit more too. There are some works that have been done in association with these castings, and it feels like after it they weren't treated very well in people who had it since. I mean, you of course take good care of them, but prior to it, they weren't taken. It was sort of like, oh, they're just on the side there. They're just there, and they were exposed, especially the baby, to a lot of heat and whatnot. And different, elements, but really was not taken good care of. Yeah, you can see that down in there. These two in spirit are great and amazing souls. There is love, and they come even here today holding hands. And it feels like the baby has been allowed or has chosen to grow. This feels like a male to me. Yeah, it feels like it, but it could be just a very strong female energy.
Now, it says, can you see on the bottom? Hold that baby in. It right. Is a male, I think. It's lurch, something lurch.
It's hard to see without, wait, you know what I can do is just do this. And do this. Oh. Very, very hard to read in this lighting. But that's,
let me see.
Here, you might be able to see it with that.
Cast of Charlie. Mm-hmm. Charles Sprague Lurch, son of M.S. and Alina Lurch. It is a male. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And a good energy at that. I will have to say that this particular energy dies fairly quickly in his life. Mm-hmm. There's a quicker passing when he does pass. But both of them are safe and sound in spirit. A very giving mother. It also feels like there's another child with her as well. It isn't just this child, but there's another child, a female, one other. And there also feels to be a miscarriage much earlier in her life, a miscarriage. But there's another baby, and there was a female, it feels like. But good energies nonetheless. Very well spoken, very, very good people. I don't feel any evilness attached to any of this. And I can feel them here as we're talking, and they're just obviously very pleased and honored that you would have their likeness here. They are in spirit, and yeah, it does feel like there was a level of upper echelon to them, and they have spent their time in spirit and have come back to the earthly plane and back again over time to learn about what the world is about, because they were very closeted or very kind of kept. And this is their project to kind of learn about humanity, about themselves, and all of that. Are there any questions that you might have?
The only question I have is they were purchased at the Ernest Hemingway estate. And what would that, if you can see it, what would that connection between the Hemingways, who was obviously famous,
This feels like an energy that was very praised and very honored by the Hemingways, that this is kind of the mother for everyone, kind of carrying everyone through. So I don't know if she served the family or just very close to the family, but it feels like she's a giver in this family, and this is the honor that's given to her and to the child by doing this. Because they were family. They are family.
You're right.
Also, the Hemingways feels like there's some secrets within that family.
That's what I'm feeling. I'm
about.
feeling the secret, and that's what I'm wondering. Are you getting the secret?
A little bit of the secret. So, and as to who the child would be as well, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
So, but this is but it was coined in a much different way to kind of protect all those that were involved. So this names and different things, who they knew, how they knew, changed. But yeah, I think that there's a very high likelihood of that, and I get some head nods from on the spirit side.
So maybe that's why they're so present, is for the truth to be out. Maybe
it's part of that. Yeah, absolutely. They're okay to answer. Their crusade isn't for the truth to be known per se, but if asked, they will give the truth as to what happened.
Ask them.
Yeah, well, it's the truth of what happened, because this is kept a secret and kept in their world. So yeah, and when asked, they give the truth, but they also are careful not to give too much else, because it can, the ripple effect of what could happen as life moves, for other people. But they do give that much to it. This feels like she died at a younger age, not very old, but it feels like at a younger age. And she does feel like she has a sister, although it does feel like that was kept quiet as well. There's something about the connections outside of the family that are kept. They don't allow that to surface. Let's put it that way.
In that time, it was different. Yeah,
it was very different. We didn't. If somebody drank too much, they didn't say, "Oh, they're alcoholic."
They all drank.
They're alcoholic.
They all drank.
Yeah. But they did. But if somebody had an issue with it, there was a tendency to save face and not bring
especially
that to
for it was a class thing.
Right. Exactly. Because then that would be a sign of weakness, that you say couldn't hold your alcohol, or a situation like this.
Okay, makes sense why the family would keep it.
I'll give you this much of history. Whistle while you work, from what I understand, was in the southern plantations with slavery and all that. They made the workers whistle while they worked, so they would always know where the slaves were, so they wouldn't catch them doing something that was improper, or So they whistle while you work. From what I understood, that's where that came from.
Oh, I never knew that.
I could be wrong, but that's part of keeping secrets and making sure nobody finds out about things.
Oh yeah, people didn't talk back then.
Right.
It was all how you look.
Right.
Right. You had to maintain that appearance. So yeah, I mean, this had glass on it, was well done. And just so that you know, the actual masks were made. As soon as they passed, they made the masks so they could preserve their faces. So paintings were done of them.
Right, exactly,
right?
for the artistry.
This is the actual truth. And the paintings that were done, the live painting of them alive, it was done and sold at this same auction 25 years ago for $30,000 a piece.
Wow, that's amazing.
I've been looking to try and find paintings, but without any kind of background, it's really hard.
It's very hard.
Yeah, but you hit that right on. That's exactly, they were made to preserve their faces so they could do paintings. And that's why they were made. And then they were kept. But I think, well, this one had a glass that preserved it better. She was preserved better than the baby.
Mm-hmm.
But at least we still have them.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a treasure.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I
Of
just
course.
it's been eating at me, and I know in my mind what I'm seeing. I just want to confirm that.
Oh, great. It's my pleasure.
Okay. Thank you, Armand.
You're welcome.